Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing for a moment of silence.
From Homestead Media, this is HHS In Depth.
Today is Friday, April 26th, and welcome to another episode of HHS In Depth. Let's begin with a quick overview of today's show. To start us off, reporter Matthew Otten brings us a story on Homestead student parking issues. Then, reporter Mara Nicholson gives us a look into Homestead's Fight Club. Following that story, Elena Baker follows a student on their trip to Washington, D.C. Caroline Burns lets us know what the weather is looking like over the next 7 days. And lastly, Emily Adams joins us for another edition of Down to the Wire. All of this and more today only on HHS In Depth. Hello, Spartans, and welcome to HHS In Depth. I'm Ryan Weidler.
And I'm Hunter Wise. And Ryan, what are your thoughts on the weather we've had?
Well, the weather's been all right. I'm just hoping this weekend is going to be as good as last weekend.
Good news, Caroline Burns joins us now to tell us what we can expect.
Well, guys, we've definitely had a chillier week, but I think it's safe to say that we're out of the woods with the winter weather. As we look on to next week, I know I'll be sure to get out and enjoy the warmth. Hunter, Ryan, back to you.
Thanks, Caroline. I hope next week's outlook is more positive than what we'll see this weekend.
HHS In Depth, National News.
Switching now to national news. Columbia University is going online after pro-Palestinian protesters would not leave their encampment because of the university's ties to Israeli academic institutions. More than 100 students have been arrested, and student protesters had agreed to take down many of the tents in the encampment. The school's president said that alternative options would be considered to clear the rest of the encampment, and protesters are making sure that anyone not from the university would leave the campus, that the encampment would follow fire safety rules, and that harassment language would not be tolerated. Moving into local news, Sharon Tucker was sworn in on Tuesday after the recent passing of Mayor Tom Henry. Tucker is now the 37th mayor of Fort Wayne. She served as a 6th District City Councilwoman and represented the 1st District in Allen County Council. Tucker is the first African-American woman to serve as the city's mayor.
Thanks, Hunter, for the news update. Hey, you drive to school, right?
Of course, why do you ask?
Well, you might have noticed some of the bad parking we've had in our student lots recently.
Yeah, I have, and I hate it. Joining us now is HHS In Depth reporter Matthew Otten with a story over these bad parkers along with advice on how to avoid the traffic issues.
After the announcement was made that students aren't allowed to park in the small lot near door 33, we have seen a new trend that students start to leave their houses earlier than it was at the beginning of the school year. By the time 7 a.m. hits, the big parking lot is full, and that forces students to park near the environmental center or near Summit. But what students tend to do is curbside park, park in restricted lines, or even park in a handicapped spot.
Door 33, that lot was never for the students. That was always for construction and or for teachers. That you could get a ticket for it, you could be towed, you could get ISS, you could be OSS, just unlimited number of consequences if you're caught parking there. Not only would you get a ticket, there would be should be consequences. We're kind of leaning away from the towing because tow companies a long ways away. What we're going to start assigning will be in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension days if you already received a warning for doing that.
Not only if you park in the small lot and get a ticket or your vehicle being towed, handicap parking is more than a parking ticket.
In addition, if you park in a handicap parking spot, you'll get an actual ticket. The SRO has written several of those. That's a monetary ticket. That's through Allen County. If you park in a handicap spot without a handicap sticker, I think the fine's up to like $200 you have to pay the County of Allen.
Although parking can be trouble, there are some helpful advice where you don't have to fight the traffic after school.
One thing that I can give to help students, and we've tried to communicate this, if you know you're coming late to school, you're going to be a little bit later, you know the spots aren't going to be there after 7:15. They're going to be gone. So just bypass the lot, go in over at Summit, or turn in to go down to like where the environmental center area is, would be the best suggestions that I can give to students until this kind of all clears out.
If you happen to see that the big parking lot is full, don't risk yourself on curbside parking, parking in restricted lines, or park in a handicap spot. Your best bet is to park in the parking lot by the environmental center or park in the parking lot that's by Summit. Nobody wants to have disciplinary consequences as we approach the last few weeks of school. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Matthew Otten.
Thanks for the story, Matthew. Stick around, we'll be right back shortly with more on HHS In Depth.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Attention those who plan to take the SAT on June 1st. The digital SAT requires students to have a device to test with. Since you will no longer have your school-issued laptops on June 1st, you need to confirm if you have a personal device acceptable for testing. If not, you need to request one to be sent to HHS through College Board for June 1st. You must request a device by next Wednesday, May 1st to have one sent to the testing center. Go to the QR code shown here if you need to request a laptop.
Prom will be held 1 week from tomorrow on Saturday, May 4th at the Grand Wayne Center downtown. Tickets are currently on sale at lunch in the cafeteria. Please make note that for today only, tickets will be on sale for $30. Next week, the price will go up to $35, and if you still need tickets on the night of prom, they will be $40. Tickets can be purchased with cash or check made out to Homestead High School only.
If you wish to bring a guest to prom who is not a current student at Homestead, you must complete a dance guest request form, which can be picked up in the discipline office. The deadline to turn in the completed form is today at 3 p.m. There are absolutely no exceptions to this cutoff time. No faxes or late copies will be accepted.
You must show your current student ID to enter prom, and non-Homestead students must have a valid photo ID. There are no refunds for prom tickets, and you must have your ticket to enter. No photos or copies will be accepted.
If you have not yet purchased this year's yearbook, be sure to do so soon. The final day to order is Monday, April 29th. You can purchase one at the QR code shown in the graphic. Also, if your parents are interested in taking out an ad in the yearbook, have them go to the same link.
Seniors, please be sure to visit HHS Scholarships page for scholarship opportunities with fast approaching deadlines. Some scholarships on this page are specifically for Homestead High School students only. Don't miss out on these opportunities.
Homestead seniors, it's that time of year. If you'd like any photos of you and your friends to be seen during the senior slideshow video at graduation, please upload them to the link that was sent via email last month. The photos should be original, high-resolution photos in any format or orientation that feature seniors from Homestead only. The deadline for the photos to be included is Friday, May 17th.
Next Tuesday, April 30th, all Homestead students and staff are invited to eat at Casa Restaurante from 5 to 9 p.m. 10% of all proceeds during that time frame will be donated to FCCLA. Please scan the QR code shown here for a certificate to show your server on Tuesday night.
Congratulations to Mr. Welch in the art department for being named Homestead's Teacher of the Year last week in a surprise faculty meeting. Mr. Welch teaches 2D, 3D, and ceramics courses. He recently shared with us how proud he is to be a Spartan.
I feel very honored and proud to be Teacher of the Year here this year at Homestead. I feel super lucky. I have wonderful coworkers in my department. I have fantastic students, and my job truly doesn't feel like a job.
You know, Ryan, I've been wondering, what are your favorite movies?
It's got to be Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Homecoming, Fight Club.
Wait, do you know the first rule about Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club?
Too late, because a new club at Homestead all about ultimate fighters has begun. Reporter Mara Nicholson is in now to tell us more about it.
The Ultimate Fighters Championship Club was started by Homestead Juniors Yusuf Hamad and Devesh Vamadevan, who have always been interested in the world of entertaining sports. However, after coming to Homestead full of expectation, they were disappointed when they discovered that the hands-on sporting options were very limited.
At Homestead in general, we don't really have, martial arts. We only have the wrestling team, and I'm hoping that this will, show people a new sport that many people don't know about, and it introduces people to a new way to entertain themselves and educate themselves on something that I enjoy.
While shedding light on overlooked sports, at the actual club meetings, the group engages in both discussing matches and reviewing different competitors.
We talk about upcoming fights, we talk about upcoming news, we talk about the press conferences, so we get into everything Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Although we now know why the club was created, let's learn what sports are specifically discussed.
This is actually for mixed martial arts, so it goes from boxing to karate to taekwondo to jiu-jitsu to kickboxing, so it's all of the above.
If you are interested in joining the UFC club or attending a meeting, they meet every Monday after school in Mrs. Bowman's room. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Mara Nicholson.
Thank you, Mara. Hey, Hunter, have you ever been to Washington, D.C.?
I have. I was just there over spring break.
Well, that's really interesting because you'll love this story from HHS In Depth reporter Layla Baker, who tells us about an amazing trip one Homestead student took to Washington a few months back.
As the 2024 presidential election approaches, more and more people are showing interest in the White House. A few members of the Senate Youth Council got to travel to Washington, D.C. to get an inside look. A Homestead senior, Layla Kelly, got the opportunity to go as well.
The United States Senate Youth Program is a program where 2 students are chosen from each state. We also get a 1-week trip to Washington, D.C. called Washington Week, where we get to talk to elected officials. I applied for the program because I heard that it was an amazing opportunity, and also they advertise that every year you get to meet the president and a sitting Supreme Court justice. So I thought that would be so cool, and I've always been interested in politics, so it seemed like a great opportunity.
Spending time in a political atmosphere for many days came with lots of benefits for Layla and the rest of the members in the program.
So I think some highlights were that I got to actually meet Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who's a Hoosier, so that was really cool. We got to visit all sorts of sites that normal people wouldn't really get to see. I think I've learned a lot more about public service as a profession, so now I think that I know that I definitely want to go into public service as my career. So it was really a valuable experience in teaching me that.
Luckily, it's not too late to apply to the Senate Youth Council for the upcoming 2025 year.
People who are interested in USSYP can apply each summer, so applications normally open in July or August, and they're due around September. And it's an essay and video process, and then you have interviews after that. So if you're looking to get involved, you can always contact me if you want any more information, or you go to the Indiana Bar Foundation website.
If you are interested in joining the Senate Youth Council with Layla, feel free to email her at the address shown below. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Elena Baker.
Thank you, Elena. Stick around. We'll be back shortly on HHS In Depth.
As we get closer to the month of May, our spring sports teams are in mid-season form. I'll tell you more about a few of those teams later in Down to the Wire.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth.
Welcome back to HHS In Depth. And Hunter, I don't know about you, but I've had a great time winning Water Wars.
Me too, Ryan. And it seems like there isn't much competition for us. Caroline Burns will have to let us know if we can continue dominating with the upcoming weather.
Well, Hunter and Ryan, leaving school today, you might want a rain jacket along with your floaties, but the temperature is only getting warmer this week. Over the weekend, the rain will continue, but Sunday's temperature reaching the 80s definitely has me looking forward to summer even more. Monday and Tuesday will be more warm days, continuing with the pattern of rain. But the showers will break on Wednesday, when we'll finally see that sun, with a high of 73. Looking into the later half of the week, you can look forward to more temps in the 70s. It's looking like this is going to be a great week for Rowan to get that ice cream that he was talking about, possibly even with an umbrella in hand. Hunter, Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Caroline. I cannot wait for summer weather to return.
Let's turn our attention to sports. In the studio now is Emily Adams to let us know all about this week's sports news here at Homestead in another edition of Down to the Wire.
Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm Emily Adams. Today's episode starts with our girls' track and field team's trip to Indianapolis. As the girls competed at the Pike Invitational, the conditions were harsh with cold and high winds, but the ladies fought hard and earned 104 points total and got third place out of the 9 very good schools. The most notable performances, Ellie Irwin was second in the high jump, while Anna Ream took second in the long jump. Katie Varman was third in the discus. Kat Perrigo ran third in the 1 mile race. Sisters Lauren Saddington and Briar Saddington got first and third respectively in the 2 mile race. Dominica Cassini took second in the 400 meter dash. Kat Perrigo and Lucy Kramer were second and third respectively in the 800 meter run. And finally, the team of Briar Saddington, Lauren Saddington, Ella Annabis, and Lucy Kramer earned first place in the 4x800 meter relay. Congrats, ladies, and good luck tomorrow at the Lime City Relays in Huntington. After a tough weekend last week, the boys bounced back with an impressive 4-0 win over Hamilton Southeastern down at Taylor University this past Monday. Senior Alex Graber was dominant on the mound, picking up the win. He pitched 6 innings and allowed only 1 hit and struck out 9 batters. Junior Johnny Inkenbrook paced the offense with 2 hits, including a home run. Mason Weaver and Caleb Bradford both also had 2 hits, with Bradford picking up 2 RBIs and Weaver getting 1. The baseball team is back in action tomorrow in a doubleheader versus Northrop at 10 a.m. at Homestead. Although their Tuesday game was canceled, it couldn't outshine the varsity softball team's incredible win against Bishop Dwenger on Monday. Winning by an inch, the Spartans sent the Saints home with a final score of 2-1. They'll compete again tonight against Columbia City at home. Next, the varsity golf team took on Canterbury at the Chestnut Hills Golf Course on Monday. They beat the Cavaliers with a combined 4-under par 140 to Canterbury's 217. The combined scores came from Landon Snyder with a 33, Kaden Baker with 34, Ryan Parker with 36, and Noah Lance with a 37. Great job, guys, and good luck tomorrow at the Hall of Fame invite at Rock Hollow in Peru. Next up, our boys volleyball team had an incredible weekend at Noblesville on Saturday. They swept the Invitational, beating Guerin Catholic 2-0 for the win. Then this past Tuesday, the boys were back at home, taking out the Northrop Bruins 3-1. Their busy schedule continues again on Monday at Woodland. Good luck, boys. To close us out, we have an exciting announcement for all of our Spartan athletes. HHS In Depth will be announcing Homestead's male and female athletes of the week on the show until the end of the year. Award recipients are nominated by their coaches for their sportsmanship, athletic achievement, and team spirit. This week's winners are Ja'Cory Schneider of the boys volleyball team and Macy Arnold from the softball team. Congratulations to the both of you. Award recipients this week or in the future will need to pick up their award in the athletic office. That'll do it for this week's edition of Down to the Wire. Thank you for watching. Hunter and Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you all for watching today.
That'll do it for today's episode of HHS In Depth. Make sure to check out our socials for updates on the HHS In Depth team and our upcoming projects.
Have a great weekend, Homestead. We'll see you right back here again next week.